Well, welcome to number 3. And I just want to start this one by saying, first of all, hello, I'm Ed Waymel, and this is my partner, Nancy Rector. But don't expect this to be perfect because we're just real people, okay? And we're just trying to help. Of course, we want you to help. That's the Kentucky thing, as Nancy's in Kentucky would say. We're just trying to educate. And, of course, we want you to eventually, when you find out all about our product, of course, we want you to buy it eventually. But if you don't, you still need to know what's going on with all the toxins in life, okay? So with that being said, I want to turn it over to Nancy and talk about toxins for us. We're going to do a little toxin, and then we're going to talk about a couple of ingredients out of the 15 that are in our product. Go ahead, Nancy.
Great, thanks, Ed. All right, the toxins we're going to go over today are the synthetic fragrances and polyethylene glycols or PEGs, PEGs. That one's interesting. They're both really interesting. So when you get a product, whether it's a hair care product, a cosmetic, or even something you're washing your clothes with or your soaps, you look in the ingredients and you see fragrance. And there's nothing next to it. It's just fragrance. That means it's synthetic. And it's interesting that some products will have like an herb or something, and it will say next to it fragrance. So you know what that fragrance is. One of my hair care products I checked today did exactly that. And these fragrances can contain phthalates, which we went over in our very first educational session. They're artificial compounds, and they do create unique scent profiles, but what they do is pretty much awful. So they can provide allergic reactions, and they're one of the most common allergens out there. And like, I have asthma, and I'm somewhat sensitive to fragrances, and now I get why, because it's a chemical that I'm breathing in, and my body doesn't like it. It does cause hormone disruptions. Again, that's the phthalates, musks, synthetic musk compounds. You'd be surprised at the different types of compounds, artificial compounds that are listed as a fragrance. They do have adverse effects on reproductive health, hormonal balance, leading to adverse effects with having children. Again, the respiratory issues related to the allergic reactions. And the other aspect of the allergic reaction is when you're putting something on your face, you're applying it to your body, or even your hair. You're applying it to your body, so your body's absorbing it in your scalp, on your skin, and taking that in, not just inhaling it. So one of the aspects, though, is the respiratory issue, which I do experience. And then there's the environmental impact. We do have to take it. We are stewards of the environment. So we want to be sure that we're not putting these artificial compounds into our water system, and that it bioaccumulates in aquatic environments. So your fish, ecosystem disruption, your fish are getting it, and you're eating the fish.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big deal.
Isn't it? It's the same thing for fragrances, period, like colognes and perfumes, right? And that's the totally unregulated industry. And I implore everyone watching this to look up endocrine disruption and fragrance, cologne and perfume, and see what it does. I used to love my cologne, and I haven't worn it for a couple of years now. As soon as I found out how bad it was, I had no idea. I mean, yeah, you can put it on your clothes, I guess, at least it's not on your skin, but you still are smelling it, and it's bad. And it's just like, why isn't this stuff regulated? And there's natural ways to do it all, which has kind of been our whole goal here. So, I mean, I want to kind of like go back and forth so that since we talked about bad fragrances, we're going to talk about one of the things that causes fragrance in one of our products, which is rose oil. And we've had some people make comments about the product saying, I'm not sure I like that fragrance. I go, it's not. First of all, it's natural. It's not, we didn't put it in there to make it smell. We put it in there because rose oil has amazing properties for the skin. I mean, it's moisturizing, first of all, and nourishes the skin. It contains antioxidants that are caused by free radicals. helping to prevent premature aging. I know nobody wants that. I'm sure everyone wants to just get old and get wrinkly and bad, but I don't, you know. It soothes irritation and redness. It has antibacterial properties with, if you have like any acne breakouts, it'll help. This product has been shown by some people have said
It,
overnight,
it got rid of my
acne can
mask.
go away.
It got rid of my acne from masks, from wearing masks during COVID. And
Yeah,
no antibiotic worked until I used Curative, and you can see the pictures.
yeah, and it has calming effects just by the smell. I mean, promotes relaxation, so the stress. It gives the skin a more radiant appearance. A lot of people say when they put it on, it just brightens their skin, and it does. And it's just one of the 15 product ingredients we're talking about here. Um, it also reduces the appearance of scars and stretch marks over time. Now, I know everyone likes to have scars, and we like to have wrinkles too, right? No, I don't. And it really does take care of that. So between the antibacterial, antioxidant, it helps heal the skin. So that's, that's a fragrance that people say, well, can you make it without that smell? I'm like, no, it's
You
not
don't want to
natural.
see it,
It's
right?
too good for your skin. If
Mhm.
you don't like it, then there's another product we have that doesn't have that in there. And that's what we'll talk about as we go forward with these videos. So now put it back to you, Nance. What's the next toxin we're going to talk about?
Oh, I have one more point on fragrance, and that's
Okay.
your clothes when you're doing your laundry. Get rid of your clothes softener. The fragrance is awful. Just
And those
use
dryer sheets? Yeah.
yeah, and forget the dryer sheets. But just use white vinegar and drop a couple of drops of essential oil, your favorite, and your clothes will be whiter, softer, and smell great, but not
Yeah.
hurt you at the same time. All right, so the next one that I'm going to talk about are polyethylene glycols, PEGs. They cause skin irritation and sensitization. They're they cause eczema. All right, and nobody wants that. If you've got it, you're just making it worse. Contamination with harmful substances during the manufacturing process of ethylene glycols or polyethylene glycols. So contaminants pose a potential risk for consumers, especially with long-term use.
Hmm.
Penetration enhancement, that's what they're used for in some cosmetics, helping other ingredients penetrate the skin more. We don't need that because our ingredients are all natural and do that on their own. And again, environmental impact. But I do want to point out that polyethylene glycol and ethylene glycol are the main ingredient in antifreeze. So think about putting antifreeze on your skin. Oh, and you also can ingest it when you use some laxatives are ethylene glycol. So you're
And
antifreeze.
if you
And
didn't know it, if your dog drinks antifreeze, it dies.
it'll, our dog
It's
died.
not good.
Someone fed them antifreeze and it
Yeah.
put our dog into kidney failure. So we know by personal experience, but these things look for polyethylene glycol, propylene glycol in your products because they are there and they are dangerous. We don't have them.
Yeah. So the second good thing, kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly, was the good and the bad, so you don't get ugly. Or the bad and the good, so you don't get ugly. How do you ever want to say that? Calendula. If you've never heard of calendula, I think it's from what? Daisies? They get it from
Yeah.
daisies, right? Some kind of a
Marigolds and
flower,
daisies.
daisies.
Yeah.
Marigolds and daisies. It's you were talking about eczema. This is good to alleviate discomfort from eczema and psoriasis. Um, reduces the appearance of scars and stretch marks. It promotes wound healing. So like, you've seen those things that say, oh, put Bactine on or whatever this is, to make it. You don't need to. You can put Curative on and wounds heal quicker. We'll do a study eventually, but don't hold me to that. Um, moisturizing properties, of course, for chapped and dry skin. It promotes it's antioxidant, so protects the skin from damage from free radicals, which is basically urban pollution, anything you're exposed to. So it's anti-inflammatory mainly. It's good for all kinds of skin, and it's just one of the many things that we put in there, like we were saying in the first couple of videos, that we found to be the best to help nourish your skins, to give it what it needs to heal. So
Right. And some of the things that Ed's saying about the benefits of both rose oil and calendula. Because we comply with the FDA from a marketing standpoint, I do have articles, and I will post them on YouTube in the YouTube comments and when we put it on social media. There are articles, specifically the one for this is from WebMD about the benefits of wound healing. So
Right.
I also want you to remember, hit the subscribe button and like us, because we want to keep on providing these for you. And
Right.
anything else that you wanted to say?
Just that, any other information you want to know, go to our website, Nature-Derm.net, and check it out. And if you want to order, we have no problem with that. It's really okay. Okay. So
Right.
that being said, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks. Have a great Easter, everyone.
Bye.